Externalities refer to situations when the effect of production or consumption of goods and services imposes costs or benefits on others which are not reflected in the prices charged for the goods and services being provided. These can either be negative or positive towards the third party being effective.
This graph shows the positive externality produced as a result of consumption. The marginal social benefit exceeds the marginal private benefit, so society benefits from an individual's purchase of the good. Positive externalities will occur if there is more production. Subsidising a good can also lead to positive externalities. This decreases the marginal private cost for all quantities produced, thus shifting the MPC line downwards from the MSC. The welfare gain is shown when reducing the potential gain from the yellow and green triangle to just the green triangle. This graph shows the negative externality created by the consumption of a particular good. The marginal social cost, MSC, is greater than the marginal private cost, MPC, thus showing a welfare loss as the green triangle. MPC increases to MPC1 due to tax added. This reduces the consumption of the good and also reduces the welfare loss. The MPC has shifted so that it is closer to being the MSC and thus closer to the optimum level of consumption for society.
Charity is an example of an organisational process with unintended consequences despite the purpose being to provide social and environmental benefits. In third world countries where people are at risk from famine, charities and foreign governments intend to save thousands by implementing measures that provide them with necessary resources. However, there are negative externalities. The population of the country develops an unsustainable dependence on donations as a regular income source, and they are unable to support themselves without it. Foreign governments who send over subsidised grains at much lower cost compared to market value, which at first allows the population to be able to afford the grain, then undercuts the price of any local competitors for the same produce, inhibiting local economic growth. We also have examples like beverages company Coca-Cola, who use 3 litres of water to manufacture 1 litre of Coke, leaving 2/3 to be discarded as wastewater. The process burdens an already water-scarce country, India, where 70% of the population live in rural communities. The Kerala bottling plant extracted approximately 1.5 million litres of water a day. The operation is unsustainable since water is extricated much faster than it can be naturally replenished. On top of this, wastewater is discharged into surrounding rivers, polluting groundwater and soil. Local people do not have access to fresh water because wells run dry and hand water pumps no longer work. As a result, people drink from contaminated supplies, compromising their health and hygiene. Without water, farmers do not have a means of irrigating crops and rearing livestock. This not only affects their own livelihood, but more significantly leads to a scarcity of food. In due course, this leads to famine and increased mortality in the region.
We can look at Three Gorges Dam when considering the positive unintended consequences of organisational process. The intention when constructing the dam was to generate renewable energy as a clean alternative to burning fossil fuels. However, there was an unintended consequence of tourism. There are now museums, viewing platforms and river cruises which attract thousands of tourists each year. This generation of profit is useful for maintenance costs. More importantly, the influx of visitors is beneficial for local businesses such as hotels and restaurants, and therefore also the Chinese economy as a whole.
Based on the information presented, we can conclude that organisations from different industries can incur positive or negative externalities under 3 main categories: social, political and environmental.